Some of the worst tornadoes in our region's history flatten entire towns. 11 people are now confirmed dead in Indiana, 5 in Kentucky, and there's no telling just how long it will take to deal with the incredible destruction left behind.
That video, I've seen it 100 times, and it still always manages to tear me up and choke me up when I watch it. You know, I was a little nervous about coming and doing a TEDx event, and we have an actor friend, my husband and I have an actor friend that lives out here in LA, and he wanted to give me some encouragement. So he came over last night, and you wanna know what his words of wisdom were to me? Hey, Steph, go out there and break a leg. Really? You know, I think it's important to tell you a little bit about myself and my background. You know, from an early age, my father instilled in me the values of mental toughness and what that was all about. We were a low-income family from Frankfort, Kentucky, and you know, he had just a GED and worked as a tool and die man all of his life. You know, he had a vision, though. He had a vision for a better life for his family. And as a little girl, I watched him pour his heart into his work. And he built an incredibly successful business. He also introduced me into the world of sports and athletics. I was an athlete, I was a competitor, and the mental toughness and the strength and the leadership that sports taught me really prepared me for things in life. Mental toughness separates the bad from the good and the good from the great. Let me tell you a little bit about my storm. On March 2nd, 2012, an F4 tornado barreled down Henryville, Indiana. I was at home with my 2 kids in the basement. In just a few precious seconds, I threw a blanket over them. I told them I love you, and we fully expected to die. Wow, life is short. All the bills and the arguments, they just didn't mean much anymore. The tornado reached top speeds at 175 miles per hour as it barreled down our house. There was not one piece of plywood left of the foundation. You know, as the house is falling down on me and the debris is flying everywhere, I use every inch of my body to lay on my children and protect them. And when it stopped, my children walked away without a scratch. I was not as lucky. When I was trapped, I had to send my son Dominic to get help. And then I was all alone. One of the hardest feelings is being alone then by myself. I had this internal battle with myself. You can do this, you can make it, you can survive, you've got to hang on and wait for help. To the flip side of, I cannot believe I'm going to die right here. I'm a 37-year-old mom. I have so much life to live. I want to see my children play ball. I want to see them grow up and get married and have kids of their own. This cannot be it for me. I fought through the pain. You know, the fear of imagining my kid's life without a mother, my husband's life without a wife. Okay, maybe just my kid's life without a mother. Just kidding, just kidding. Finally, rescuers got to me, and you know, they transported me out. I was in the back of a Jeep Cherokee, and one of the rescuers, Russ, I didn't know him at the time, and he had to actually hold my head up. And I had a punctured lung, I had 8 broken ribs, and then he also had to hold a tourniquet on my left leg so I wouldn't bleed out and die. And I could tell, I mean, his face, he was he was so upset. He was so tense. He couldn't even look at me, and he couldn't even look at my legs. They were in such bad shape. And I knew I needed to do something. I had to say something to break the tension and help him through this moment. And I looked at him and I said, "Russ?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Well, I guess there goes pedicures." He looked at me like I had grown 3 heads. But he got us through that moment and carried me on. I went on, had to get transported to an ambulance, and then I got transported to a local hospital, and then I got transferred finally to a level 1 trauma center at the University of Louisville. By the time I had gotten there, it was 2.5 hours later. I lost 50% of my blood, and doctors told me that the artery I severed, I should have been dead within 10 minutes. But I was alive. I was breathing. It was miraculous to even make it to this point. But finally, I could close my eyes, and I could let the doctors do their work. When I woke up, I was in the recovery room, and I had all my family around me, and my husband was right next to me, and he was crying. And I looked at him and said, "What's wrong? I'm awake. You think you'd be a little happier, right?" And I asked him, I said, "Did I lose my legs?" And he goes, "Yes." And now, mind you, I'm intubated at the time, so I'm writing all this on his hand. And you'd think he'd give me something to write on. Oh, I love that man. But for Joe and I, we grieved, and I grieved for about 10 minutes. And after that, I told him, and I looked at him, and I said, "We need a plan. We need to move forward. What are our options? People have to walk." And he looked at me like I was crazy again. He goes, "You're still in the ICU staff." And I said, "I'm ready to pick a direction. I need my life back. I want to walk again. I want to run again. I want to play with my kids again. I want to do all the things that I used to do." And I filed all those nurses and doctors and prosthetists and therapists and insurance people all in my room, and I said, "I want you, and you to do your jobs. I'll give 110% on my end, but I expect you to do your part. I need the best technology available. I need the doctors to repair my legs, and I need the insurance to pay for it." I was on a roll. One of the biggest questions that I get asked is, how do you stay so positive? It's real simple. It's a choice. You choose how you're going to handle your storm. I chose to fight and get my life back. It's simple. It is a choice. Some people call me Supermom. I don't know that I actually fit the role of Wonder Woman, but I'll go with it. Truthfully, I did what any other parent would do. That doesn't make me a maverick or a hero. That makes me a mom who loves her kids. The true heroes are Russ that held the tourniquet, the doctors that figured out how to quickly save my life, my son for going to go get help. Those are my heroes. One of the keys in my recovery was to set goals. It moved us forward. It kept us going these last 2 years in the right direction. They told me I wouldn't walk within a year. I was up in 2 months. I wanted to go on Ellen. I wanted to dance. We'll call it dancing, okay? When we were honored to meet the President of the United States, I wanted to walk unassisted with him. Were there goals that I didn't meet? Absolutely. I wanted to be the first bilateral amputee to go on Dancing with the Stars, and Amy Purdy beat me to it. She was great, wasn't she? So we went a little different route with our goals. We went and had a little fun with it. Watch this. the biggest gift my family and I realized through all this is it's not just about me. It's not just about us. How selfish were we before this accident? We were in our own little bubble, taking kids to practice, having dinner at home together, going to our daily workout, getting our Starbucks. Wow, how selfish. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a struggle or a pain or a bump in the road that they're going through. I'd like you to meet Landis Sims. He was born without arms and legs. He is a maverick and knows no limits. After our storm, Joe and I decided to start a foundation. We wanted to provide technology for funding for technology, and we wanted to give a resource for people that had lost their limbs. We also wanted to provide scholarships for children with limb differences to go to able-bodied sports camps. We believe that all children deserve the opportunity to play able-bodied sports. Landis was the Stephanie Decker Foundation's first donation. We were able to take Landis and his mother to travel to Illinois where they could meet 100 other children just like him. There is no price to put on what Landis gave me and my family. Watching life through his eyes is truly inspiring. The last video I saw of Landis, he was learning how to skateboard on prosthetics. Wow, proof that we know no limits. Landis is my new normal. In your storm, you're not alone. I wouldn't be here without Russ, without the doctors, without my son, Dominic. I might be alone if it weren't for Joe and my kids. I might not understand purpose without kids like Landis in my life. So if there's anything that you take away from this message, I challenge you to find your purpose. Mine is the Stephanie Decker Foundation. What is yours? Find something that's bigger than yourself. Be passionate about it. Build a community of believers in your friends, your family, your neighbors, strangers across the globe. Do it now, before your storm hits. And understand there will be more storms out there. More tornadoes will come. But out of every storm, there is a rainbow. We all just have to look for it. Thank you.